Thank you for joining us on this Thursday. We're getting close to Christmas, and I trust that the joy of the incarnation of Jesus Christ has filled your heart. I think so many times we are robbed of that joy by the pressures of our dinners and gifts, and all of that is important, and family is very important. But we need to just keep lifted in our spirits based upon the truth of what Christ has done for us. I'd like to think about that for just a moment and look at verse 3 of chapter 12 in the book of Hebrews. There, of course, we are following the after chapter 11, the great faith chapter, and then looking at all of those, we're to lay aside the weights and sins that so easily beset us and run the race. And we're to look unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. And here's the verse 3. For consider him, that's Jesus, that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. As we go through the spiritual battles in our own life, and now we're so aware of the spiritual battle within our own country and all that is going on, we need to look to Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. Every morning as I pray, it's one of the things I talk about. Lord, you are the one that will finish my faith. Continue to enable me to grow. And you've promised that that is the case. And Jesus Christ endured shame. He went through all kind of humiliation here on this earth, but he had his face set for the cross because he loved us and was going to take our place on that cross. And even though he sweat great drops of blood, even though he went through agony, even before the cross, he did not turn back. And he, of course, finished his whole plan that God had given to him for our salvation. And so when we feel like it just is really rugged, we get weary of ourselves, we get weary of all the problems that are around us, and then we feel the pressure coming in, and Satan discourages us. Well, consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners. Friends, the world has always been against Christ. It has always been against God. And it's through the miraculous working of the Spirit of God through God's people that people come to Christ. And he has provided that way for us to be able to come to him. But we ought not be surprised at the great battle that there is out there. So that we have a very clear admonition to look to Jesus. And he was human, and he was empowered by the Spirit. We're human. We have the sinful nature, which is, of course, there. But we have his finished work in the Holy Spirit now indwelling us, and we can have victory. And so we are to not be wearied and faint in our minds. We are not to give up. We are not to be thrown by the trials. We need to realize as the passage goes on that the chastening of the Lord is wonderful because it's going to bring the wonderful fruits of holiness in our life. And so let's not be weary. Let's look to Jesus. Let's remember he did it for us, and we need to be willing with our whole heart to stay on course for him.